He explained that she had been a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the earliest 20th century. The Titanic had two sister ships who were identical to one another in nearly every aspect. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. She was initially intended to be a passenger liner, like the Titanic, but soon after the ship was launched, the First World War began, and she was pressed into duty by the British Navy as a hospital ship. Yeah, she does look identical to the Titanic. Sometime later, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in an Aegean Sea. She managed to run aground after the incident and consequently was not sunk. What then happened to the Gigantic after her fateful encounter in the Aegean Sea? One theory ran that a man named Lord Gordian purchased her. Lord Gordian, it seemed, had been one of the few survivors of the Titanic tragedy, and that trauma had turned him into an obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. It's quite strange how you almost died on a ship, then you're collecting everything to do with it. But I guess trauma affects you in different ways. As his obsession deepened, he began to desire the Titanic itself. That, of course, was impossible. The Titanic lay at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The Gigantic, however, had not suffered such a dire fate, and as she was identical to her sister ship, she caught Lord Gordian's eye. Huh. So you're saying this Lord Gordian bought the ship? So, I'm guessing I'm supposed to think Lord Gordian is Zero, but that seems a little too good a connection. Yeah, at least I think I am. That's impossible. No way we're in the same boat that's almost 100 years old. Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof? Proof? Proof that the ship is really the Gigantic. Well, the ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic, and a hospital ship, so I just figured. Oh, for goodness, don't tell me that's your only reason. Alright, calm down. You know, you're the laziest one here. I don't really see you doing anything. You've told me about British psychological experiments, but that's it. No, I've got more. Like? Well, I mean... Seven looked around and desperately doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth. I don't know. Lotus sighed and shook her head. I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it? Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, wait a minute. Memory isn't back? Yeah, I was thinking that. I assume they meant like the blackout, but... like from when they were kidnapped, but... Junpei was, he felt, legitimately shocked by what seemed to be a new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange. He decided to revise his attitude for the next question. Wait, was I the only one that didn't know? Everyone nodded. Why? Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up. What? Then, almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment, a bell began to ring from far away. It sounded as though it was the clock at the main stairway. Junpei counted each chime carefully. 10. 11. 12. Oh, 6 hours left. It's midnight. Then we've still got 6 hours left, right? We don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. We've got to find the missing parts for the Reds. What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that? We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look. One? Well, I guess that's not really right. Huh? Wait. Don't tell me you mean we need to search all the other rooms. Don't freak out. We already searched 4 of them. 4 rooms. We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each person does 6 rooms, that'll be 48 rooms, right? So there are 48 rooms left. Her earlier experience had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Seven. Seven scratched his head awkwardly. I don't know. Wait a minute, so if we're at rooms 3, 7, and 8, then surely through one of those is gonna be door 9, but I'm confused on why if on deck C, was it? There was doors 4 and 5, and now all of a sudden we've got 3, 7, and 8. I thought 3 would have been on one of the lower decks, but it's confusing now. Why these doors are all placed at these kind of places. After a little more discussion, they split up and headed towards the rooms to begin searching them. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft. They also determined when they would return to report their findings, the next time the clock sounded the time. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds. If, during their search, any of them were to locate the missing components, they were to yell for the others. If this strategy failed, they returned to discuss their options later. The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However, were they all locked? Or... From far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 AM. That was quick. Wait, where am I running to? He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there. Ace, Santa, Clover, June, Seven, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of door number 8. Or perhaps to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to the door number 8. Had one of them found the missing piece? What happened, guys? It was June who answered him. Junpei, look. She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately knew what she'd meant. So is... I know I talked before I find out what happens, but I'm guessing that Zero has turned them on at specific times, maybe? Unless they actually found them. The display on the front of the red read, vacant. Junpei sighed. Come on guys, who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it. Well, Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut. What the hell? What is up with you guys? They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke. Well, that's the thing. We don't know. You don't know? When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red. Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again just to make sure. The slot that had been open on the bottom was now covered with metal. Clearly whatever had been missing had been returned. What about the other 2? They're the same. Junpei quickly examined the other two boxes. Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others. Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right? Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hand as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing. Huh? Wait a minute. That was when he noticed. Where's Snake? Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen. Does that mean he found them? I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't enter. Either. I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person. Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. I thought Clover would have been with him, since he's blind. What the hell is he up to? Or is he blind? Maybe he's lost. Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place. Clover raised her head. No, that's impossible. Suddenly, she was shouting. Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. So he couldn't ever get lost. That's impossible. Clover had started to